Okay. Um, so for me, social justice means the fair distribution of resources and opportunities to all individuals in a community. And having said that, in this position, I hope to find ways to educate, advocate, and engage in responses toward issues of inequity and misrepresentation that confront our community. I'm passionate about social justice because I think it's critical in acknowledging and respecting the injustices endured by those who came before us and those who have enabled us to be where we are now. By honoring these experiences, I think we can move forward toward inciting positive change for the future of our community.
Every single person in this club has the power to make a change or to make a difference. Not everybody is using that power, unfortunately. Not being sexist, not being homophobic, not being ableist or anything is not going to be enough. If you want to see change, letting these injustices happen is not going to solve anything. I want to educate, spread awareness, and start dialogues of different social issues, and by doing this, I want to inspire everyone to take action, as you are able. And I also wanted to propose the idea of having a partnership with Anakbayan, because their organization is very strong and very experienced, and since Social Justice Chair is very new, they would really serve as a really great guide for us.
So what does it mean to be socially aware? My goal, if elected, is to bring awareness of social justice issues. However, this takes baby steps. I plan to have dialogues of intersectionality, explore our oppressed and privileged identities, and how we can advocate and work in solidarity with other marginalized communities. Social awareness goes beyond the Filipino population, so I hope to find local events that encourages critical thinking. In addition, to avoid biases, I will create a committee to have multiple perspectives. My goal is to have these important conversations, learn how to take action, and to embrace the discomfort. Thank you.
I'm going to be asking all 3 questions because I helped implement the position. Okay, so UFC is trying to turn towards a more educational and social justice active club. As a social justice and political engagement chair, you will be seen as the person to lead the club towards the direction and help guide members towards understanding systematic issues in their own identity. How do you plan to do this? Do you have specific issues that you would like UFC to explore?
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, sorry. Okay. So how do you plan to lead UFC towards a more educational and socially just active club? And do you have specific issues that you would like UFC to explore?
One thing I wanted to do was create discussion circles and ask people what they want to advocate for, and ask people what they really believe in, and really within these circles create dialogue and see what ideas come from that. Was there another part to your questions?
Do you have specific issues that you would like UFC to explore?
Oh, sorry.
The first one, how do you plan to engage UFC in this? Like towards our more educational and socially aware.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. Were we done? Okay. I truly believe that you have to be educated before you take action. So I will try to create workshops if I can't do it during a general meeting. So I will create workshops to have this discussion and to explore what is intersectionality, because that is a big word and not that many people know the definition about that. And to provide a list of resources that we could also go over, because we have to do our homework about this. This is not something that we just go and participate in. So for me, I feel like we have to build that foundation first, and then after we have a better understanding, I can look for local events, such as there's this Filipino Radical walking tour that is super awesome. I went to it. There's so much history in the city that we should explore. There's also museums that I feel like we could go to, like the Wing Luke Museum. And there's just a lot of things that we could do read articles, watch videos, watch movies, like history movies about it. So.
I also think that kind of exploring what is there already is really important to moving forward. So I think kind of engaging in discussions and like having conversations about like how to even talk about social justice issues is really important before like moving forward and trying to like change or modify the way that we see things and the way that we talk about things.
So in a lot of like social justice discussions or controversies, there's always a lot of people who have the opposite viewpoint or like opposing viewpoint. How would you go about, I guess, addressing that or teaching that or like just interacting with people who have different viewpoints from the things that you believe in or your social justice is like that not everyone is going to agree with you, so how do you go about dealing with that in your life?
I'm kind of gonna reiterate what I said before about having discussion circles and having people really talk about professionally and in a safe environment what they really believe in and just creating dialogue. It's very important. Yeah, and you have to realize that you really can't please everyone. So.
And going off of that, I totally agree. Dialogues are very important. And I also feel like creating that safe environment is necessary so that we don't have that bias. It's important that when we explore social issues that we don't have like a one-sided like idea because everyone believes that their ideas is right. Also, just to practice mindful language, this is not about attacking the other person just because they have like an opposing viewpoint. This is all about seeing and understanding because we're all learning.
Something I have learned relatively recently is to like always honor the lived experience of other individuals. So I think like although those disparities in perspectives exist, I think embracing those complexities is the only way to truly like honor the complexity of like issues with justice and inequity and like engaging in those conversations. And even if not everyone arrives at like the intended result, I think the fact that we're having those conversations and the fact that we're like getting those matters out in the open is still really constructive.
Okay, so this one is a hypothetical question. So say that a member of USC
situation, I would want to kind of ask, I guess, what that individual's familiarity with like those kind of conversations, or like, I guess, like why it might be a problem or why they don't see it as a problem, because I feel like a lot of situations in which someone finds something offensive, or someone, yeah, I guess in which someone finds something offensive, is that someone isn't as aware of a problem as other people. And I think that's why like education and advocacy is such an important part of like, I guess, fulfilling the mission of like social justice.
Yes, I would also just I've had to do this with a couple of my friends before, so I really know how to handle it, especially without any violence. I've had to pull my friends aside and tell them, yo, what you said was not okay. And it's just, you have to be really brave to do that. Not only, you can't just pick and choose who you want to just reach out to, because you really have to educate everyone. And just really just engaging in dialogue with them is so important. Like, I keep reiterating that dialogue is so important. And there's this whole thing about political correctness, but there's a difference between that and just being respectful.